Hi, my name is Gareth Davis, and this is a video presentation of a e-learning solution as designed for the British Council Thailand's Professional Training Centre. I'm using Captivate 8 for this, and I'll be publishing it to YouTube to put on my blog. Probably as I go through, I'll be telling you what the e-learning solution is, explaining what flipped learning is. I'll be telling you what the benefits are as well. I'll be detailing how it could be implemented and running through some further considerations. So, first of all, what is it? Flipped Classroom is quite simply a rearrangement of how and where learning takes place. There's a shift of focus from teacher-centered instruction, with a teacher standing at the front of the classroom, imparting information, giving instruction, to student-centered learning. So the majority of the direct instruction takes place online, and then the class time is then dedicated to more collaborative, project-based, role-play learning activities. So, just to run through that, a traditional classroom lesson structure in the field of EFL teaching would be something similar to this. First of all, you'd be activating schemata, which is getting people thinking about a particular field and thinking about their own experiences in relation to that field. Then they'll be provided with a language and context, maybe a reading or listening, just to see the learning that they will actually take on board used in context. Then there will be a focus on what they want to learn, with a controlled practice, followed by a freer practice and some feedback from the instructor. However, in the flipped learning structure, the first 4 stages are actually done online. And then in the classroom, you have the freer practice and then feedback as well. A simpler diagram explaining that process is that traditional classroom, you present, practice and produce. However, in flip, the present and the practice stages are online, and then the production is in a classroom, hopefully with as effective a learning process as the traditional structure. Here we've got an example lesson structure. I'm not going to go through this. You can take a look at this yourself at your leisure. This actually is a traditional class lesson that was adapted to fit and leverage the possibilities of e-learning solutions. So let's look at the benefits in this context. First of all, this cost. Flexibility, convenience, student-centered continued learning, teacher and student engagement, and finally I'll talk about differentiation, matching and modernity. First of all, as I said, cost. Online instruction does not necessitate a teacher to be present. Digital materials, once created, can be used again and again, but they still generate revenue. So a scenario, it would be that 4 hours of online study would be 2 hours in-class activities with the teacher. And the PTC can therefore offer what is essentially 6 hours of learning with only 1/3 of the usual expense. Well, and that 1/3 would only be the first time, because quite frankly, once, as I said, you've produced those 4 hours of online study, they are available to use again and again and again. A great benefit. Next is the flexibility and convenience. First of all, for students, they can potentially study whenever and whenever they want, at home, in work, on the bus. I say potentially with a star because, of course, we have to think about the devices they have access to and the width of their broadband. This will be something we'll maybe discuss later. And they can use whatever devices they want. They are not limited to that which they have in work. They can use their mobile phones, they can use their iPads, tablets, etc. And clients, they don't need to allocate as much time. And they don't have to free up rooms as often on their site, etc. Again, I've put a star there because there is a consideration that they should maybe think about allocating time in work if they are to avoid any resistance to any classes as well. To talk about student-centered continued learning, learners can learn their own pace, which is excellent for good or mixed ability groups. They can adopt and find their own learning strategies as well. We all learn in different ways. We've all learned at some stage maybe how to learn smart. So this is a way that, if they pose a problem, they can look up how to solve this problem themselves. And there's a number of ways that they could do that. They're also exposed to online resources to promote continued learning and enhanced work skills. Connectivism is a learning theory that talks about how nowadays we are in a connected world, so it shouldn't be just about actually providing information. It should be about actually helping people to plug them into connected areas where they can get all the information and the help they want to do their jobs, to make good decisions, but also as well to decide what information is important and useful for them as well. And hopefully, if we can plug in connectivist learning theory and open people's eyes to the way the internet can be leveraged to help them learn continually as well. There's a benefit also from materials presented by a wide range of digital media, such as videos, audio, digital games, etc. And this will again appeal to a variety of learning styles. In regards to teacher and student engagement, there's a lot of research regarding flipped learning, and that has shown that associated flipped learning with improved student performance. Teachers also have seen improved student attitudes towards learning and experienced increased job satisfaction, particularly in the field of EFL, and I would imagine probably a lot of other fields as well. Instructors, teachers, they're human beings. They enjoy the games. They enjoy the activities. They probably very often dread the aspect of the back to the class, writing on the whiteboard, explaining the things in general, and probably would be enjoy much more the facilitator role. And they could then focus on giving the feedback as opposed to thinking about what's going to come next in the learning plan that they've designed for that particular class. Just some research here on teacher and student engagement. Students themselves agreed that they had greater opportunities to work at their own pace. They had an increased access to course material and instruction. They had more choice in how they demonstrate their learning. They also critically viewed learning as a more active process as opposed to the more passive kind of learning that they might have experienced in the past. They were also more likely to engage in critical thinking and problem solving, and teachers were more likely to take into account their interests, strengths and weaknesses. Another benefit will be differentiation, matching and modernity. Flipped learning and supplemental options. They provide differentiation from the great majority of the competition. Certainly at the moment in EFL and in my current context working in Bangkok in Thailand. We can then match and potentially beat the products of a few with specific intentional learning designs, and the keyword is intentional learning designs. These would be best if they were designed intentionally for specific learning outcomes and to be to culminate in those in-class activities. There is the temptation to just throw any already designed e-learning materials that cover a particular topic and then go into the in-class scenario afterwards. The ideal is that everything is designed specifically for that particular learning design with the culmination in the classroom. And finally, from the British Council's context, it would promote them as a modern service provider at the cutting edge of our fields. So, how can we do it? First of all, there are two areas we need to look at, which is LMS, which is Learning Management System Platforms, and then the implementation as well. So first of all, an LMS stands for Learning Management System, and a Learning Management System does the following. It provides you with the ability to administer users, courses, materials, management and evaluation. It also provides you with the functionality of providing the content such as materials, test calendars, glossary and multimedia, and the tools such as discussion, forum, chat, whiteboards that would be used in a lot of learning designs. So LMS platform options, there are a number. First of all, there's like a paid LMS such as LearnDash. There's an annual expense for this. It's visually very often quite boring. However, there's specific user support and there's menu pages. They're more attractive if a theme is applied. The theme would be, in the case of LearnDash, it would be provided by WordPress, which is the content management system which LearnDash runs on. Other LMS platform options would be Moodle, probably the most well-known platform. This is an open source platform. It can be, again, visually very unengaging, little specific personal support. However, it often offers great functionality, and there's a vast innovative community to draw on as well. Also, I think you can apply a theme to it as well. Another option we have would be to use authoring tools. Now, authoring tools include probably the two most popular would be Adobe Captivate, which is what I'm using at the moment, or Articulate, and these are used to create lessons. And the LMS then is to use the structure that those lessons are actually fixed on. In relation to the negatives of using authoring tools, for somebody that's never used them before, it's probably the greatest learning curve. However, when you design your lessons on this, you get better tailored and branded lessons. They're very flexible, far more attractive, and the learning objects that you create can be imported into different platforms, courses and media. So once you've made one particular learning design, this can be taken and put into a number of other courses as well. Again, keeping your costs very low for the future, and making for a very efficient kind of course creation process potentially as you become more work smart and you build up the number of materials and learning designs that you have. This is just an example of the Captivate course authoring tool. You can see here at the bottom, you can see how you can tailor it to fit computer screens, mobile screens and tablet screens as well, which is of course vital in this day and age. Okay, so looking at implementation, there are 6 ideal stages that I've looked at. First of all would be planning, second would be content creation, third evaluation, fourth training, fifth would be the rollout itself, and then 6 would be the target audience that we are trying to reach. First of all, in the field that we're looking for, which would be the field of EFL, training for non-native speakers, usually in a corporate context. The first stage of planning will be meetings. Okay, I'm a big believer in the wisdom of crowds and engendering a community of practice. The more you use those around you, the more buy-in you get from them as well. The more involved they get, the more experience they might get as well. If you have a specialist on site that's going to do a lot of this, if you bring in those around you, then they might be interested. They might want to take over in future as well. In these meetings, there's the possibility of an identification of the learning objectives, skills, language points, etc. A discussion on approach and a discussion on the lesson design as well. Of course, when you bring in professionals of a number of different disciplines, they can give their ideas as well, and any e-learning specialist can then try to synthesize those in a way that fits the learning process the best. Next up will be storyboarding. Based on those planning meetings, storyboarding is the creation of a visual representation of learning design, like a screen by screen explanation for clear objectives for anyone involved as well. Next stage will be content creation. This would be the creation of materials in a variety of media achieved through a mixture of delegation, collaboration in the case that we're looking at here. And the types of materials we're looking at in this field would be creation of reading texts, unless you're going to use, as I said earlier, the reading text may be available all over the web, or a combination of creation of videos, audio recordings. Ideally, in the context of EFL, we would want a variety of accents, men and women. This is important as well for non-native speaking learners. Quizzes, games. A point here in regards to this type of learning design, if it's targeted for a particular learner from a particular place, it's very good if you have locally generated content, because that equates to a greater contextuality, which is more effective and engaging and is in keeping with the British Council, in this case, effort at cost reduction and sustainability as well. Next then would be inputting into the learning designs and course structure on the LMS. After everything is created, we would look to evaluate it. The evaluation would incorporate testing across 3 different areas. First of all, technical evaluation. This would be the evaluation of the performance, the error identification and correction, looking at its robustness as well. That's its usability evaluation across devices, operating systems, browsers, and with maybe assistive technologies such as screen readers for people with disabilities. Number 2 would be the functional evaluation. That would be the end user evaluation in regards to the ease of use and the intuitiveness. Third would be the pedagogic evaluation. This would be the subject matter expert evaluation, possibly in this case ELT professionals. And we would look for like a qualitative and quantitative surveys to measure the success of the content from the learner's perspective. Let's also now look at the training, because we have to think about the training that would be involved for the different stakeholders within the company and without. First of all, for sales, they would be looking to sell this product. They would receive training on the features, the advantages, and the benefits. What it does. What advantages that would then give to the client, and the results they would hopefully see in their work. For administration in our company, we'd have to look at logins and an overview of what the course is, so that when they maybe give brief kind of explanations when they go off-site to introduce the products, that should really cover that. And if they are asked any more in-depth questions, then they can be referred to the person responsible, probably the e-learning specialist itself, him or herself. For the teachers, they probably would need training on product awareness, in understanding the product. Crucially, probably the lesson fit, how it's structured to see what actually is used in class as well. Certainly in regards to the feedback that they should be giving as well. They also, of course, will be then trained on the pedagogy as well of it, and of course the functionality. Ideally, you'll have teachers that know the online aspect inside and out. And finally, clients and students. They would need the logins and overview and screencasts such as this to explain how to use it as well. And you can see here there's a YouTube a YouTube of a screencast explaining how a particular LMS is used elsewhere. Okay, so for the rollout, courses can be made available as and when they are individually completed. You don't have to wait for the full catalogue of Flip Learning courses to be able to do this. The choices of the courses that are created and therefore ready for clients can be decided according to business requirements or potential for uptake as well. So, build the courses on the basis of what's likely to sell first, and then hopefully then you get a lot of positive feedback from them, and you could create things a little bit more niche, more specialist. The kind of target clients we were looking at in our context here would be need to be kind of considered in regards to a number of factors, which is their IT competence, the access to devices, and also we would have to consider learners' expectations and the skepticism they may have of new methods as well. Likely an ideal candidate would be someone who uses computers on a daily basis. Maybe a company that consists of a younger, more dynamic and IT savvy workforce. Here in the Bangkok context, okay, we have companies such as Agoda, Asiaroom, DTAC, True in Thailand. This product represents for them an effective learning solution that have either perceived BC British Council as beyond their budget previously, or attracted by blended learning's convenience and methodology as well. As I said, this provides differentiation and modernity that would really appeal to a lot of clients. So some further considerations in my context here, the British Council, is branding. Okay, we need some degree of cross-departmental collaboration to ensure that branding is accurate. Then we'd have to look at the integration with existing websites. As above, there will need to be communication with the responsible parties. One additional peripheral benefit can be an enhancement of the company's search engine optimization, their web presence. For a lot of companies, adding details of new products should boost their recognizability on the search engines, which would hopefully also bring in further business for them as well. More further considerations would be the software. What software does the company already have at its disposal? For example, is anybody using Captivate 8 or Storyline? And learner expectations. So with the British Council's prestigious reputation, there will be an expectation for highly interactive and attractive content. And if this gets done, it should be done well. And doing it well is within our capabilities. To conclude, technology is resulting in radical changes in how learning is facilitated by providers and undertaken also by learners. In Bangkok, we have a company called Wall Street, and they use a lot of these types of learning scenarios. Albeit I'm not sure how effectively they do it. But their success has shown that there is an appetite for blended learning, and business consultancies also in Bangkok are applying this method. I have been told. We have the talent within this company, particularly the resources and the need. This product can potentially give us a great competitive edge and ensure we are at the forefront of how learning provision is changing as well. And as I said, if you're watching this, hopefully this has been a helpful introduction into what flipped learning is and how it can be applied as a learning solution in a number of different fields as well. And again, thank you for viewing.